ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे। रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमु रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 Okay, now you all should be able to turn on your videos. I think one setting was set on the incorrect one. Good, thank you. Let us start from 4th verse, 4th until 6th verse. We can chant together. Or let us repeat. Tasmai sahovacha द्वे विद्ये वेदितव्ये इति हस्म यद् ब्रह्मविदो वदन्ति परा चैवापरा च तत्रा परा ऋग्वेदो यजुर्वेदः सामवेदो अथर्ववेदः शिक्षा कल्पो व्याकरणम् निरुक्तं छन्दो ज्योतिषमिति अथ परा यया तदक्षरमधिगम्यते यत्तदद्रेश्यम् अग्राह्यम् अगोत्रम् अवर्णम् अचक्षुश्रोत्रम् तदपाणिपादम् नित्यं विभुं सर्वगतं सुसूक्ष्मम् तदव्ययम् यद्भूतयोनिं परिपश्यन्ति धीराः. The flow of this Upanishad is, third mantra was questioned by Shaunak Maharshi, where he said, what is that knowing which everything becomes known? The fourth mantra was just an indication that there are two things worthy of being known. One is called as Para Vidya, another is called as Apara Vidya. And the style of elaboration in our scriptures is whenever they use a word, they will precisely define what that word means. So these two words were used in fourth mantra. So fifth mantra was defining what is Apara Vidya. In short, Veda and Vedanga put together is Apara Vidya, that which keeps our individuality intact, that which doesn't question our jivatva. Any knowledge will be called as Apara Vidya. Any knowledge that does that, which doesn't question our individuality, that is called as Apara Vidya. Then what is Para Vidya? Para Vidya is that which leads us to self-abidance, leads us to Akshara Tattva. The indicators of that Akshara Tattva is given in the sixth mantra. So we were just seeing the indicators based on Bhashya, but without reading the Sanskrit commentary. The first indicator was Adreshyam. It is actually Adrushyam that Dhru becomes Dre. So this is called Chandasa Prayoga. In Upanishads, you will not find the dhatus and the grammar rules precisely what is there in Paniniya Vyakaranam. So Adreshyam means that which doesn't become an object of Jnanendriyas. Organs of perception cannot find this Akshara Tattva as an object. So whenever I think of Akshara, these indicators should come in mind. That Akshara is that which I will never find outside, never find it as an object. I have to seek for it within. These 12 indicators, first we have to understand it as indicators of Akshara. But the final culmination is, I should be able to own it up as my Lakshana. So who am I if I ask? Instead of saying Atma, the Lakshana that should come is Adreshyam. But a lot of questions will come. Huh? I see this body. It is very much Drishya. I can see with my eyes. Thoughts are also Drishya. World outside, we can leave for now. The question is, who am I? So all these are conditionings. Body is conditioning, mind is conditioning. My essential nature is the seer of these conditionings. That is the meaning of the word Adreshyam. I am the eternal witness, which will never become Drishya. In Drik Drishya Viveka it was said, Tad Drishyam Draktumanasam Drishyati Vrittaya Sakshi Drugeva Natu Drishyate. That Sakshi is always Druk, it will never become Drishya. So if I am a seeker of truth, that quest has to lead me to that Akshara, which will never become object of sense organs. This is contrary to our data. Whatever Vyapti we have gathered, data we have gathered, everything we have known has been some or the other object. And here they are pointing us to something which will not become known as an object. So at the seat of meditation, this is how I have to think. I am that Sakshi, which is never Drishya. Towards Drishya, I should have Vairagya. These are all the implied meanings of the word Adreshyam. If I am seeking Akshara Tattva, I am seeking consciousness, abidance in the self, whatever is Drishya, I should be able to let go of it and not get stuck with any Drishya. Grossest Drishya would be some object. But it can also be some thought, some opinion. It says towards that also I should have Vairagya. As long I hold on to Drishya, I cannot shift attention to Drashta. As long as I am strongly holding on to Drishya, shifting attention to drashta is impossible. So that is the meaning of the word adreshyam. Okay. You can write the indicators, the numbers. That way, when we see bhashya, you know which indicator it is pointing out. So first one was adreshyam. Second is agrahyam. Agrahyam means it doesn't become object of karmendriyas. Karmendriya means organ of action. Literally, agrahyam means it cannot be grasped. So somebody is, let's say, holding my hand. I should be able to say they are holding the sharira, not me. Because as far as Chaitanya is concerned, he says that is agrahyam, not available for vyavahar. This is where we had seen the Upanishad Ganga example of Darashiko. When he is in the captive of that king, and that king comes and threatens him to do certain things. He was his own brother, actually. There he says this line, that my abidance is in this truth. Nothing can shake this understanding. And as far as I am concerned, no harm can come to me. So that I refers to Chaitanya, which cannot be cleaved by weapons, which cannot be subject to any kind of destruction. You know, when we do Vedanta Chintanam, we should do it purely from Vedanta standpoint. When it comes to Vyavahara, he says do it from Dharma standpoint. Don't mix both of them. We are trying to understand what is the nature of Atma Tattva. Whatever takes us there, those examples we have to take. Okay, agrahya means it doesn't become an object of karmendriyas. Adreshyam, agrahyam. Third one is agotram. Agotram means that which doesn't have lineage, but implied meaning is that which is causeless. Everything has a cause, but this akshara tattva doesn't have another cause. It is eternal. It is swayam siddha, established by itself, doesn't need something else to be born, doesn't need something else to be its cause. This is where we had seen example of Lord Shiva when he says, my grandfather's name is Lord Shiva. Means in his lineage, there is nobody other than Bhagwan. He doesn't need another father and mother. You know, this question children ask in Bal Vihar. Bhagwan Rama's father is Dasharat Maharaj. Bhagwan Ganesha's father is Lord Shiva. Who is Lord Shiva's father? So there the way to look at it is, as far as Chaitanya is concerned, see, Chaitanya is not having another cause. When that Chaitanya chooses to appear as a form, appear as an avatar, there it knowingly takes different causes. Why did avatara take place? In that only there were 4 causes mentioned in the Ramcharitmanas. Jaya Vijaya story was there. Pratap Bhanu story was there. So when he takes avatara, he takes all causes. But as far as he is concerned, he is causeless. Means God is all powerful. He doesn't need another cause. He can choose to appear with cause, but that doesn't mean he is bound by that cause. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word agotram, means that which is causeless, which has the origin, which doesn't have anything else as origin. That is agotram. Until here we had seen, I think, right? Agotram we had seen. Fourth one is avarnam. Varna means attributes. Avarnam means without attributes. If you have to describe something, you have to hold on to some attribute and describe it. those attributes are the ones which will distinguish it from other things. If you say, bring that chair. Now, which chair are you talking about? So you'll have to give some attribute. That chair which is red in color. That chair which is shorter than other ones. Or that chair which is taller than other one. So tallness, shortness, color, all of them are attributes. So akshara is that which is not having any attributes. Attributeless truth, that is this akshara tattva. Avarnam. But imagine what is the difficulty or the challenge in front of Upanishads. They have to describe that thing which doesn't have attributes. What has attributes, that only when we describe we get confused sometimes. So they're going to describe something which is attributeless using words. That's when Shiva Mahimna it was said, Atitav panthanam tavacha mahima vang manasayoho. Your description is such, it cannot be fathomed by mind and intellect. Cannot be spoken also. Atad vyavrutyayam chakitam abhidhatte shruti api. Upanishads, when they are describing you in so much of surprise that you are attributeless, yet we have to speak about you. And only way we can do it is by atad vyavrutti. Atad vyavrutti means through negation of attributes. That is the greatest wonder, that an attributeless thing is described so beautifully. Okay, that is the meaning of avarnam. The implied meaning of avarnam is whatever is attributeless is not available for transaction. What makes an entity fit for transaction is its attributes. Even if you look at the chemical elements which are there. When do we say this element is useful? First, you will ask, what are its qualities? Whatever that element has, whatever properties that element has, according to that property or attribute, it is used in transaction. So imagine that entity which has no attributes. No attributes, no transaction. This is avyavaharyam, not available for vyavahara. Whose lakshanas are these? Aksharas lakshanas. But final understanding is, these are my lakshana. What is my understanding? There is vyavahara, and I am part of this vyavahara, going through samsara in this vyavahara. And Vedanta wants to tell us, you are attributeless, you are not available for vyavahara. Mentally, we have to put NA board. In work also they said it, busy, not available. So as far as Chaitanya is concerned, you say that is my essential nature. As Chaitanya, I am not part of this vyavahara. I am that substratum in which all vyavahara takes place. Why am I not available for vyavahara? Avaranatvat. Because there are no attributes, vyavahara is only with attributes. Attributes of mind will be helpful in vyavahara. Attributes of body will be helpful in vyavahara. If somebody is tall, if you have to take out something from the top shelf, tallness is helpful. So vyavahara is needed. If vyavahara is needed, attributes are needed. There is a fourth one called as avarnam. Fifth one is achakshu shrotram. Achakshu shrotram means no jnanendriyas. To understand this world or to objectify this world, what we need is jnanendriyas, organ of perception. Achakshu shrotram. Chakshu means eyes, shrotram means ears. So akshara tattva is that which doesn't have jnanendriyas, by which it can make this world as its object. How is this different from Adreshyam? How is this different from Adreshyam? Adreshyam was Akshara Tattva doesn't become an object of sense organs, organ of perceptions. Akshara Tattva doesn't become object of Jnanendriyas. Achakshu Shrotram means Akshara Tattva does not have Jnanendriyas. Akshara Tattva doesn't have Jnanendriyas. Later on in this Upanishad only, there is an indicator used for Akshara. It is referred to as Sarvajna Sarvavit. Sarvavit means one who is all knowing, and not knowing as consciousness, knowing the details, not only illumining, knowing as Sakshi, but also knowing the details of it. Vishesha Jnanam is there. If Vishesha Jnanam is there, what has to be there? Vritti has to be there, thought has to be there. Only when we have thought of that object, we know the details or the specifics of that object. So Shankaracharya, he will say in this commentary, this particular adjective has come, Achakshu Shrotram, to remove this notion that just like all other jivas, Chaitanya also has these conditionings of Jnanendriyas. Just like Jiva has Jnanendriyas and transacts in this world, like that Chaitanya Tattva, that Chaitanya Tattva doesn't have Jnanendriyas. I mean, it is being spoken of from Tatpada standpoint. Does Bhagwan have Jnanendriyas? Or first of all, ask the other question, Sarvavit. Does Bhagwan know all our thoughts? We say yes, he knows it very precisely. Does he know what is happening in this world? What all things are happening in this world? Very well he knows it. If he knows it, how does he know it? Does he know it with Jnanendriyas or without Jnanendriyas? So there it is said, he is able to know it unlike a jiva. He doesn't need Jnanendriyas to know it. His upadhi is so powerful. Through that upadhi, he is able to know this whole universe. This elaboration, if you want to see, you will find it in Shiva Gita. Shiva Gita, 118th Doha, Balakanda. He says, who is Bhagwan Rama? Parvati ji asks, who is Bhagwan Rama? Bhagwan Shiva says, in his essential nature, he is Drashta. Jagata Prakasya Prakasaka Ramu. This world is illumined. Bhagwan Rama is the illuminator, pure consciousness. That same Bhagwan, that same consciousness has become Balarupa Rama. He has taken this avatar as Balarupa Rama. And he is going about doing all his things. Without legs, he is walking. Without hands, he is doing all actions. Anana Rahita Sakala Rasa Bhogi. Without face, without a tongue, he is getting rasa of everything else. Means as far as he is concerned, he doesn't have any conditionings. But his conditionings are such, the Maya Upadhi is such. Through that, he can know everything. Unlike a jiva, which needs all hands, legs, needs all jnanendriyas to know one thing separately. So Ishvara's knowing is very different than jiva's knowing in that way. But if you just focus on the word achakshu shrotram, what does it mean? Akshara tattva is that which doesn't have jnanendriyas. Not only it doesn't become object of jnanendriyas, akshara also doesn't have jnanendriyas. Now we should apply this particular adjective, particular qualifier on aham. If I say, I've understood Para Vidya, In my understanding of aham, do I feel I have jnanendriyas or I am devoid of jnanendriyas? So this indicator is telling us when I think of aham, I should think of myself as achakshushrotam, one who doesn't have any jnanendriyas. Which indicator was this? Fifth indicator. Fifth indicator was achakshushrotam. Sixth one is apani padam. Apani padam means no karmendriyas, no organ of action also. What is the difference with this and agrahyam? Agrahyam means akshara tattva doesn't become object of karmendriyas. Apani padam means akshara tattva does not have karmendriyas. That is apani padam, doesn't have hands and legs. So again, applying it to aham, whenever I sit down in meditation, this particular adjective I can hold on to. Whatever limitations are there in jnanendriya and karmendriya, they don't belong to me as pure consciousness. Whatever vyavahara is going on through jnanendriya and karmendriya, they don't belong to Shuddha Chaitanya Akshara. What we are trying to get at is these indicators should not remain mere words. If it remains at word, what will happen? Which vidya will it become? Para Vidya. Every indicator should have the power to shift our attention to the truth, to remove several erroneous notions. That's why applying that word to aham will suddenly remind us, am I seeing it this way or am I still at word? Apani padam, somebody is apani padam. Some akshara tattva is apani padam. That is easy to say. But to say, I am without pani pada, I am without hands and legs, that is where Vedanta wants us to go. Again, don't confuse it with vyavahara. We'll be thoroughly going in circles, loops, and getting confused more. Imagine in transactional world, you tell somebody, my understanding of myself is I am without hands and legs, I am without jnanendriyas. You say, what are you studying? But one who wants Para Vidya, he tries to appreciate what they are trying to tell us. Now, these 6 indicators, notice how they are being pointed out. All of them are pointed out from Tvam Pada standpoint. See the indicators again. Adreshyam, Jnanendriya standpoint. Agrahyam, Karmendriya standpoint. Agotram, that which is causeless. Avarnam, which doesn't have attributes. Tallness, shortness, none of that is there. Achakshushrotam, doesn't have eyes and ears. Tadapani padam, doesn't have hands and legs. This is called as Tvam Pada Lakshyartha. The implied meaning of the word Tvam. Means imagine when they started teaching us Vedanta, so much details were given of how did the sense organs come about. Sushti Prakriya was there. All details were given. From Sattvic aspect, Jnanendriyas came. From Rajasic aspect, Karmendriyas came, and so on. But now what they are telling us? Achakshushrotam, apani padam. He says, if this is what you have to tell me, why did you give those details? Made me remember the creation process. What is the answer? That part was adhyaropa, this part is apavada. If this attention was not pointed out, I would not even pay attention. There is something called as jnanendriya, karmendriya, antahkarana. Through that, several sadhanas were pointed out. What is the sadhana for speech? Anudvegakaram vakyam, satyam, priyam, hitam chayate. 17th chapter, Bhagavan said, this is sadhana at speech level. Mind level sadhana was pointed out. Manah prasada samyatvam. Maunam atma vinigraha. Having a cheerful mind, that is the sadhana at mind level. Which is this? Is it adhyaropa or apavada? How many of you say this is adhyaropa? Sadhana pointing out at speech level, mind level, as far as Vedanta is concerned, for clarity purpose. Is it adhyaropa or is it apavada? Adhyaropa. How many say it is apavada? See, whenever sadhana is pointed out, what is the premise? You are the one doing that sadhana. You are the one who has vachendriya. I am the one who has manaha. Taking that to be a fact, several things are pointed out how I can adjust it. So that will be part of Adhyaropa. Vedanta, this particular mantra is Apavada mantra. Having done that first step, one who has beautified his mind, one whose speech is according to tapasya mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, that person can move on to this next verse. We should not do Apavada first and then Adhyaropa. Okay. First Adhyaropa, then Apavada. What was the example for Adhyaropa Apavada? If there is some dirt on the hand, you first apply soap. Then with water, remove the dirt and the soap. So sadhanas are like the soap. They are so that the impurities of our mind gets removed. The shortcomings in our speech get corrected. And Vedanta expects us that we are diligent in that part. That's why here they're not discussing the previous part. So the one who has done Adhyaropa well, done Adhyaropa well means gotten the results of Adhyaropa, beautiful mind, beautiful transaction. Upanishad doesn't want to leave us there. With the dirt and the soap, this is remain with both of it. This is no. Purpose is to remove both of it. That water is apavada part. So here apavada is done by saying that I don't have organ of perception to begin with. I don't have organ of action to start with. In that direction, our nididhyasanam should move. And this is given to us with lot of faith that we will not misunderstand the teaching, neither will we stop putting forth effort to correct our sadhana. Putting forth effort to work on our mind through sadhana, that effort will also continue. Shankaracharya will introduce this as in the Bhashya. He says, knowledge alone gives liberation. He has said it in several places, but there is one clause there. For the fit adhikari. Knowledge alone gives liberation for the one who has dealt with his mind very well. But we have to appreciate both standpoints. Vedanta doesn't want us to remain only at mind standpoint. If you take mind as real and stay only at mind level, at some point we will feel I'm going in loops. This finitude which is there, it will never bring us absolute bliss. And these paths, if we are not convinced, we should try it for ourselves and see it for ourselves. For some time, don't discuss about Vedanta. Don't discuss about Chaitanya. Don't discuss about consciousness. Just focus on mind and say, I am the mind, and stay at that level. Very quickly we'll realize final solution for mind is not at mind level. It's a relative solution to beautify this mind, quieten this mind. But finally I have to understand mind is an appearance in Chaitanya. Raman Maharshi says this is simple path. Mahanasam tu kim margane kurte naiva mahanasam. If you just ask what is the mind, you'll find that this mind is disappearing. So 6 indicators in the first line. So this is from the standpoint of Tvam Pada, but also Nisheda Mukha. Nisheda Mukha means through negation, it is pointed out. Now the 7th one is from Tatpada standpoint. Tatpada means creation standpoint. 7th indicator is Nityam. Nityam means that which is ever present. That which is ever present, which is indestructible, which never got destroyed, that is this Akshara Tattva. That's why if you say, I witnessed Mahabharata war, true or false? As Chaitanya, this is a true statement. That Chaitanya which was witnessing the mind of Arjuna is the same Chaitanya which is illumining this mind. I have witnessed Brahmaloka. Okay, let me put it differently. I am witnessing Brahmaloka. True or false? As Chaitanya, it is the same Chaitanya illumining Brahmaji's intellect. Vishesha Jnanam, intellect will have separately. Illumination of that Vishesha Jnanam is by Sakshi, which is the same Sakshi. Just like Sakshi is witnessing this Loka, that same Sakshi is witnessing other Loka also. If I want to know details, those details will be known through Antakarana. It will be known through mind and intellect. That will be different for different jivas. Gradation will come as far as Antakarana is concerned. Devata's Antakarana will be very different. Brahmaji's Antakarana, so pure. Jiva's Antakarana, struggling with Ragadvesha. Sometimes Sattva-guna comes in between. It is a play of 3 gunas. Vishuddha Sattva becomes exalted beings. But the main thing is, it is Nityam. It is eternal, never perishes. That Akshara Tattva, I am. You know, in Pralaya Avastha, when this whole universe dissolves, what happens to Akshara? You say Akshara is that substratum in which the universe dissolves. Nothing happens to Akshara Tattva. Whether there is creation or there is absence of creation, it says Akshara Tattva is untouched. It is eternal. By the way, these indicators which are there, you can also look at it from Tvam Pada standpoint. Don't think these indicators should not be applied to Tvam Pada. It is pointed out from Tat Pada standpoint. But we have to apply it for Aham only. So how will it apply to Aham? When I think of I, the understanding should be, I am eternal. Just like from creation standpoint, whether creation was there or creation was not there, Akshara is eternal. From Tvam standpoint, whether body is there or body is not there, it says, I am eternal. I am independent of this body. Presence or absence of body doesn't affect me as Akshara. When they say Vedanta removes the fear of death, this is the main teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam. No? Parikshitji Maharaj, before Takshaka came, he was free from the worry of death. Tvam tu rajan marishyeti pashu buddhim imam jahi. The final teaching of our Shukdevji Maharaj to Parikshitji is, I am going to die. This kind of a thought you let go of. It is only for somebody who has not done spiritual study, he uses a very strong word. He says it is Pashu Buddhi. Pashu Buddhim Imam Jahi. How does Vedanta remove fear of death? It will remove fear of death by removing the notion that I am the body. It will not keep body forever or make it eternal. It will say, I am that eternal truth, which is independent of this body. All Rakshasas, after they did tapasya, their prayer was, as body, I should be Nityam. All clause and conditions they put. I should not be killed by human being, nor an animal, not in the sky, not on the earth, not inside the house, not outside the house. That is seeking eternality through body. Whereas Vedanta is trying to say our essential nature is eternal. I am Nityam. That is the seventh indicator. Eighth one is very beautiful. He says, eighth indicator is Vibhum. How do we translate Vibhum generally? That which is big or infinite, that is Vibhu. Here Shankaracharya ji gives a very unique definition of Vibhum. You will not find it in other places. He says Vibhum is one who manifests as many. One who has become many, that is the meaning of Vibhum. Whatever names and forms he is seeing in this universe, his understanding is it is the same Akshara Tattva appearing as his universe. He doesn't see the elements as different. Space as space, fire as fire, air as air, earth as earth. He doesn't see elements as different things. He says it is one consciousness appearing as all these. Here we can take the water and wave example. It is one water alone appearing as all waves. One gold alone appearing as all ornaments. Like that, one Akshara Tattva appearing as all Namarupa. Shivamahimna Sotram, Navidmas Tat Tattvam, Vayamihatu Yatvam Na Bhavasi. This is in this universe, we don't know of anything, we know nothing that you are not. Navidmaha Tat Tattvam. Navidmaha means we don't know. Tat Tattvam. Vayamihatu Yatvam Na Bhavasi. What you are not in this universe, we don't know anything like that. Whatever is seen, everything is that Akshara. Now I should think, whenever I see this world, how do I see it? Do I see this as name and form? Or do I see it as an appearance of this Akshara? If Akshara word doesn't sound that sweet, replace it with Rama. Replace it as Shiva, replace it as Krishna. Do I see this world as an appearance of Bhagwan? Or do I see this world as different Namarupas? If I see it as different, then where I need to put forth effort is in my understanding. When we start studying Vedanta, what we'll start realizing is there is a long way I have to go as far as my journey is concerned. Because it's not only sufficient to say the word Vibhum. When will it be called Para Vidya? When I start seeing the world as Vibhu. When I don't see Nama Rupa, but I see that as an projection in consciousness or appearance of Chaitanya. One alone manifests as many. Some examples they give are one sun alone appears as different reflections. one sun alone appears as different reflection. But see, limitations will be there in examples. Huh? What is the limitation in that example? Sun is somewhere, reflection is somewhere else. Like that, consciousness is not somewhere and world is somewhere else. World is appearing in consciousness. That consciousness alone appears as this world. You can say Jagat is Mithya, or you can say Jagat is Brahma. Both are the same. You can say that illusory snake is Mithya, or you can say the illusory snake is nothing but the rope. Rope alone is appearing as snake, like that Brahma alone is appearing as Jagat. But we need lot of God's grace and our inner sadhana to start seeing the world in this way. First, we have to understand how Upanishad wants us to see the world. And then we have to put forth effort to actually see the world in this way. Seeing the world as Brahma, not as Namarupa. Okay, so this is which indicator? Eighth indicator. Ninth indicator is Sarvagatam. Sarvagatam means that which is all pervading. But whenever we say all pervading, we should not take all as real and then try to pervade consciousness in this all. All pervading means there is nothing in this universe where consciousness is not there. There is nothing in this universe which is not pervaded by consciousness. That is the meaning of the word Sarvagatam. There is no wave which is not pervaded by water. There is no wave which is not pervaded by water. There is no part of that snake which is not pervaded by rope. No part of that snake which is not pervaded by rope. That is the meaning of the word Sarvagatam. So that rope is Snekagatam. Every part of that snake is pervaded by rope. The water is Vavegatam. Every part of that wave is pervaded by water. Like that, every part of Jagat is pervaded by consciousness. In what form does it pervade? It pervades as Sadrupa. As existence, it pervades this whole creation. As existence, it pervades this whole creation. So whenever I see Jagat, there I should not see only Namarupa. Namarupa plus existence. Namarupa plus Sat. Where is that Sat coming from? Not that object. Sat is coming from Akshara. Where is that Sat coming from? What should be the final understanding? That Sat is coming from me. Even if you logically see it, there is consciousness, there is a thought of that object, and then there is the object. Right? Consciousness, thought, which is going out through sense organs, and then there is the object. Now that object is borrowing sentiency from the same Chaitanya, borrowing its existence from the same Chaitanya. Satrupa is coming from that same consciousness, which is me. Where is thought borrowing existence from? From the same Sat. Shuddha Chaitanya, that pure Akshara Tattva, that is lending its existence to thought, that is lending its existence to objects outside. That is meaning of the word Sarvagatam. Otherwise, what we might start thinking is consciousness is some entity. There is a world outside, and it is pervading this whole world. Vedanta wants us to bring it to first person. Instead of saying Akshara Tattva pervades everything, I should be able to say I pervade everything. If I am having difficulty with this statement, then some upadhi I am mixing in I, which makes me feel I am a jiva. So as this jiva, how can I be all pervading? As this person, how can I be all pervading? What they are referring to is as Shuddha Chaitanya, as consciousness. He says Aham is all pervading. Okay. Sarvagatam. So this was ninth indicator. All of you are with me, right? All the indicators we are going through. This is all based on Bhashya. We are just not reading the Sanskrit yet. Again, when we read Sanskrit, the same point will come back. 10th indicator is Susukshmam. Susukshmam. Sukshmam means subtle. Susukshmam means subtler than the subtle. Subtler than the subtle. There is a precise meaning for this. Chaitanya Tattva is that which doesn't have any sthula vastu. Gross objects are not there, nor its dharma is there. The 5 things, 5 elements which are there: space, air, fire, water, earth. Safe way. Safe air, space, air, fire, water, earth. Every element has one dharma. What is the dharma of space? Sound, shabda. Air is touch. Fire is rupa, form. Water is taste. And earth element is fragrance, smell. So Chaitanya is that which doesn't have these 5 gross elements, nor the dharma of these 5 elements. There is no sound, there is no touch, there is no form, there is no taste, there is no smell. Neither the element is there, nor the dharma of that element is there. Now, greater the number of dharma, grosser the object. Space, air, fire, water, earth. Out of these 5 elements, we call earth as the grossest one. Why? Because it has dharma of all previous 4 and its own dharma of smell. Earth element, if you take a mango for example, mango is earth element only. Earth doesn't mean always soil. That mango will have sound. You can tap it. You can touch it. Third one is you can see it. Form is there. Taste is there from water. And smell of that mango. Very good indicator to know which is a good mango. That smell is also there. So that is why it's a grosser element. In water, smell element is not there. You say, I see water which can have some smell. He says that smell belongs to earth element. Inherent water doesn't have smell. Space, air, fire, water, earth. So water will not have smell. Fire will not have taste and smell. Fire will not have taste and smell. So that's why it's subtler than water, subtler than earth. Okay. Now come to air. Air will not have form. Air will not have taste. Air will not have smell. I see fragrant air. Perfume, if you spray here, or incense stick, if you burn there, you can smell here. He says that smell belongs to earth element. It is not belonging to air, it belongs to earth. What about space? He says space only has sound, it doesn't have the other 4 dharma. whatever is the dharma of the later one, the previous one shows up in the later one also. Whatever is the dharma of space and air, they will show up in fire. So fire, you can hear sound. Fire sound is there, and fire touch is there. You can touch fire. So as the number of dharma increases, it becomes grosser and grosser. So according to this grosser elements, what is the subtlest element? Space, because it has minimum dharma. Consciousness or Akshara Tattva is that which is subtler than space. That is why this word has come, Sukshmam. Upanishad could have said only Sukshmam, but it says Sukshmam, means that which is subtler than even space. That is this Akshara Tattva. We'll notice space is something where our attention doesn't go generally. If you say, what all things are there here? We will count everything. Mostly they will be earth element. Means whatever becomes object of sense organ, we will grasp it. This is space doesn't become direct object of sense organs. Space doesn't become object of sense organ. It is anumita. It is inferred. Because there is an object, the thing which is accommodating that object is space. If you say space can be seen through eyes, you turn off the light. And then you see if we can see space or not. So space is not seen through physical eyes. It is seen through, or it is understood through anumana. But in simple words, space is generally not in our attention. So we have to pay attention to that space, which is so subtle. What to talk about Atma Tattva, which is subtler than even space. Okay, so this is the 10th one, Susukshmam. 11th one is Avyayam. Avyayam means unchanging. Vyayam means to change, to modify or decay. Avyayam means unchanging. That which remains the same all the time, that is called as Avyaya. Shankaracharya says, change can take place through three ways. Three ways by which modification or change can come about. One option is, if parts undergo modification, the one who is having the part will also modify. For example, if there is a car, the engine goes bad. Engine goes bad means car has gone bad. So it is not avyaya, it is having vyaya. Same in body. If some body part is having vyaya, body undergoes vyaya. Vyaya means modification. Some change comes about in the body. This is that one who has those parts, that person also will go modification, undergo modification. In Sanskrit, if Anga undergoes modification, Angi also undergoes modification. So Chaitanya Tattva is that which doesn't have any Anga. So there is no modification in Chaitanya. Second, he says modification can come about just like wealth of a king, which goes up and down, the treasury of a king, which will go up and down. In that way, modification can come about. Net worth can go up, it can come down. He says consciousness is unlike this. It doesn't undergo any addition nor any subtraction. And last one, he says, if guna modifies, that is the third way by which modification can come about. Different gunas, like if some person is having lot of good memory, And if that ability to remember goes down, he feels something has gone down in me. If he could lift a lot of weight, he says that ability goes down. He feels my ability has gone down. So third vyaya can happen in terms of guna. Somebody's sadhana chatushtaya is there. If vairagya goes down a little bit, what will he feel? Some vyaya has happened in me. So you see, that is the third way vyaya can come about. Consciousness doesn't have guna. So through guna, there cannot be any vyaya in akshara tattva. So that is the meaning of avyayam. Last one is very beautiful. Bhuta yonim. That which is the origin of this whole universe. Bhuta yonim, that which is the cause of all bhuta, that is this akshara tattva. Remember, this was the main question of Shaunak Maharshi. Huh? What is that knowing by which everything becomes known? Is there one cause of this whole universe? Upanishad Rishi clarifies and says there is one cause. That is this akshara, which is the yoni of all bhutas. Next mantra is going to be an elaboration of this particular indicator, bhuta yonim. How come you say this whole universe has come about from consciousness? Several purva pakshas will be raised, several objections will be raised, and through that, a lot of clarity will be given on this particular indicator, bhuta yonim. Okay. But I hope the indicators you were able to note down what were the main points for each one. Second line, starting from nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yad bhuta yonim. All of them are tatpada standpoint. And they are also vidhimukha. It is not pointed out through negation, pointed out as assertion. Next session, we will see the bhashya, and then if there are any other points, we will just see that. If the same Sakshi is there in all, why did the Rishis refer to Vedas as revelations? Same Sakshi there in all, why did Rishis refer to Vedas as revelations? I'm not very clear about the question. If you can clarify and write, that would help. We'll see it in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. On your own, you can look at all the indicators again and without referring to notes, see if the same meaning comes up.